Hello and welcome. This is Michelle with Paper Stamp Ink. Thanks for stopping by for day 3 of my 30-day challenge. So I have challenged myself in June to put out a new video tutorial for you every day of the month. And I hope that you'll follow along with me. I hope that I can inspire you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the future projects. You can always look in the playlist 30-day challenge on my channel to catch up on any you might have missed. I'd love to invite you over to my Facebook group as well, where I'm going to be posting the instructions for, or the measurements for the cards, and also giving you a chance to reinterpret and show me your creations for chances to win prizes. I have 30 prizes set aside, one for each day, and you have up to 5 days to complete each of the challenges if you want to come along for the journey with me. So I will be starting to announce those prizes after the 5th day of the month. So on June 6th will be the first giveaway. So I hope you'll come over and join me there and have fun, and let's share our creativity and inspire each other for more projects. So what I have for us today is a designer series paper base card. So instead of cardstock, this actually uses the designer series paper as the base for the card. And isn't this just gorgeous paper? So I will tell you that most of the month of June I will probably be sharing with you retired papers, because I don't have any of my new papers from the catalog changeover yet. But you can take these ideas, use the dimensions, use this as a jumping off point, and create your own version. That's the fun. I love to see what you guys come up with it using whatever inks and stamps and paper you have on hand. So let's go ahead and get started with putting this together. I've done a lot of the cutting, actually pretty much all of the cutting ahead of time, just to make it easier for us to get through this a little bit quicker. So this piece is actually 12 inches long, so we're just going to do a couple of scores on this paper. Normally you'd start with 4 1/4 by 11, but this is the full 12. So we're going to do our normal scoring, and let me get that down where you can see it. Our normal scoring at 5 1/2, and then I'm going to have a little bit of extra because this is a 12-inch sheet. So I'm going to score that again at 1 inch, and that's all the scoring that we have to do on this. So we'll get that out of the way. That's really quick. And now the hard part is just deciding which do you want to be the front of your card. And I want to keep with this gorgeous paper here. And I love that foiling that's on there. I want to show off as much of that as I can. And then we're going to take this piece and fold this backwards. So that gives us that fun little detail on the front panel. I'm going to just run a little bit of my liquid glue so we can adhere that down. And then you could leave that definitely just as it is, but I like to, well, I like it this way too, but I like to take another step and just run a bead of glue down there and use a thin strip of cardstock. You could use ribbon as well, of course, but I like to use those little bits and pieces of cardstock as well, especially if I've already been using them to cut out the panels like I did here. Usually end up with some scraps. And so we're just gonna come in here and cut that excess off. Do make sure you're paying attention. This is a non-directional paper, so those Eiffel Towers are kind of turned all which directions. But if you do have directional paper, make sure to pay attention to that when you're making your cut for your strip, so that you don't end up with something that's not working out for you, because that'd be really sad. So let's use our Floral Essence stamp set is what I'm using for this one. And I'm going to use this floral image here. I think that's really a pretty a pretty image, and we're going to decorate up the inside of our card as well as the outside. So let's go ahead and get that panel for the inside and the panel for the front. And because these are photopolymer, I'm going to bring in my piercing mat just to give us a little bit of extra cushioning. Now, if you don't have something like this, you know, one of the things I've used a lot of times in a pinch is a catalog, just something that gives you a little bit of give for that stamp when you push down. You're going to get a much better image with your photopolymer if you do that. And so I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to do one of these down in the right hand corner, making sure that I ink that up well, since actually I'm going to clean this off as even better, since we have gone off the edge. Sometimes you can get some extra lines in there if you're not really careful. And then I'm just going to come down here in this corner, and that's got our mat for the inside. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the front panel and pick that up really well. Come in down in that corner. And we just have our sentiment that we're going to use from here, with friendly thoughts and best wishes today and every day. So that could be utilized for a bunch of different situations. I think it's kind of meant to be, some of these are meant to be more of a wedding themed. When I have sentiments like this, I like to lay them down first and then pick them up with my stamp, just to make sure that I have them nice and straight. Otherwise, sometimes I can tend to get them a little curved in there by mistake. We're going to use the mint macaron. I don't know if I told you that was petal pink on that first one. If I didn't, I'll catch you up here and let you know that that was petal pink. And we're going to use the mint macaron here, and I'm going to try and get this straight without getting my head in the camera there. I can't get quite top to bottom there. I think that looks pretty good on there. And then all we've got to do is, oops, we'll do this first. Put the matting on. So I'm using the mint macaron or macaroon and cherry cobbler, which is the one of the colors in that designer series paper. I love that Stampin' Up! Tells us all of the colors in there to make it really easy to do that color coordination for us. So there we go. And guess what? I'm doing a card without dimensionals. For those of you who have followed me, you know that's a rare occurrence. So I like my dimensionals on a lot of things, so I was really proud to make a card without dimensionals on there. So for these designer series paper, this designer series paper is lighter than our cardstock, and so as far as holding up as a base, it really needs something in there to help us out, and we need something to be able to write on easier as well. So that's where this piece of the white cardstock comes in handy, and that makes it much more sturdy with the cardstock on the front and on the inside. And then I'm just going to come in and do, reaching over there, I'm going to do a couple of these embellishments, and you could use whatever embellishments you want, or hey, leave them blank. But I thought that would be kind of fun to put these in the center of the flowers, and trying to use up some of my retired stock too, so that works well for both. So I think that just adds a fun little touch. You could jazz this up more with some embellishments down here, or, like I said, instead of using cardstock, you could tie ribbon and a bow around here and give it some more interest as well. But I wanted to keep this a fairly simple card, but still a very fun card. And I love how it just shows off all of that beautiful designer series paper. So when you can't decide which side to use, this is a great option for a card idea. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can come along with the 30-day challenge. And if you want to participate, or if you just want to see what other people come up with, or share some of your other card ideas and paper projects, I'd love to have you as part of my Facebook group. That's going to be down in the link below. And it's not just for Stampin' Up! It's not just for the 30-day challenge. It's a place where we can all gather and share inspiration. Until we meet again, make sure you grab your paper, stamp, and ink and do something creative.